Many of us feel that if Obama is going to reach the greatest potential, he needs us. As a community organizer, he knows this. He needs us to keep pushing and saying, live up to your highest ideals. Politics in DC can get very limited and forget how great change has happened in the past. What we're here to talk about in particular is the economic recovery bill. I think we're in a slightly different position because we're in Maryland. Chris Van Hollen, who's on the front of this issue, and our two senators are supportive of this. So we have to talk together about what is it we can do to support President Obama in this effort. We're going to hear a video from him. There's also a longer video if the group wants to see. We can see from Tim Kaine on the economic recovery bill. Then there's opportunity for discussion, and I think we'll do that in some smaller groups so people have more time to talk, and some Grow the Hope videos. We've done these. We want you to get familiar with that, and some music videos from will.i.am and Dave Stewart of the Eurythmics, which are fun, and if people want to see, you can.
One thing we want to do with this discussion is, if you have stories to share about how you're thinking about why you're here, the economic recovery, what does it mean to you, what can you do at your level, personally, what can you do, connecting yourselves in this room as well as not only, and see, it's all about initiative that comes from the ground up.
I want to stay proactive. I'm trying to figure out a way to be proactive, to still have my voice heard, still move ahead, still feel like this is representing me, representing us. We need to keep this excitement going. Yes, he's a politician, he's our president, he's going to fumble. We need to make sure he knows we're still out here talking about it.
If we look at what we did to elect Obama, then maybe we can model it. There were multi-levels. I did a lot of canvassing and a lot of phone calls to people I didn't even know, but I did a lot of work with people I did know.
You know, Obama will be traveling Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. He'll be in Florida, he'll be in Virginia, and there's another place, Indiana. Yeah. And so he is back on his mainstream of really campaigning for this stimulus, if I can put it in that way. So I think that we should do the same thing of people we know. We don't really have to have a whole canvas phone book. Each of us here knows at least 20 people that we can contact.
I'm David Chavez. The name of my organization is now called Community Science. Community Science. It used to, you'll find out why we changed the name, because it used to be the Association for the Study and Development of Communities. So we eventually figured out after 12 years to reduce it to Community Science. And for other reasons, really focus on what we do is that, I guess, somebody was explaining this, is that, you know how they talked about it takes a village to raise a child? Well, our job is to help strengthen the village. And so how do you really get strong communities and begin to promote social change? And so we work with foundations, government agencies, nonprofit organizations around the country. We're located in Gaithersburg. And so I guess as a resource we kind of connect, and as I was saying before, I started as a community organizer for many years. And one of the things I owe the president is the fact that my parents finally know what I did. And got some validity to it. But we also do research and training and capacity building around those kind of things. And we work with groups. And so this issue of how do you strengthen the community, the connection with community, and realizing that a community as a whole, like your body, you can't just talk about one part of it. You have to really make sure the whole thing is healthy.
If you don't have a sense that the community is with you and you are with the community, you lose touch, and you can easily look at what you hear in the papers and read in the papers and hear on the news, and there are going to be a lot of bumps in the road.
To make a promise that we are going to go out here and talk, at least tonight, tell 6 people we know that we've met here today to try to even start this, and try to get people to look at the YouTube on the website. Because, I mean, like I have a cousin in South Carolina, and she's saying she's like tired of Lindsey Graham, and just get people out there to realize that we're a voice out there.
Listening to all these comments about things we need to give focus to and give attention to, I think it would be helpful to come up with a consensus list of milestones so that we have both objectives and a time horizon for each of these objectives. You know, we lived through a campaign for 2 years, but you know what? That's a milestone that's now passed. We now have a transition. We now have an inauguration and a new administration. We need to have an ability to focus our efforts not just on the inputs that come in dynamically, but also on a set of fixed points and fixed objectives.
We're still, to some extent, mentally in the campaign mode where you change individual minds because those are individual votes. The votes that are going to matter now to getting legislation through are on Capitol Hill. How do we convince those people who say, oh, we've got to take education out of the stimulus, that they are wrong, that education needs to be put back into the stimulus? How do we mobilize those people?
We have to think carefully about what it is that we can do with Chris Van Hollen and our two senators. One piece is that you should trust that Organizing for America, like Obama for America, Organizing for America, OFA 2.0, is going to be strategic and well thought out and using web-based technologies to move this forward. Gilsman has to take notes, or volunteered to take notes, as has someone else in the other room and all the discussions that are going on, because they've asked for our feedback. They want our stories. They want it on video. They want our questions. They want to try to learn from all of the many house parties going around the country, see what ideas bubble up, and set some of those milestones. I guess the other one that I'll push forward here is we think, Grow the Hope, the people who've been working on that for years we've heard this nonsense about what has the president done in the first 100 days. It's a media myth, it's some milestone, but it's an opportunity for us also. And at this moment, I think many of us are saying the problems facing our country and the world are far too massive for any one person to solve on his or her own. So we've elected him. And this time we're going to say the task is not his alone, it is ours together. And we know that it's not just what he does in these first 100 days, but it's what we do. And are people willing to get engaged or stay engaged? So we're asking with Grow the Hope, what are you going to do in the first 100 days to revitalize our democracy?